The weekend predictions are back after a cheeky break in midweek to try and rest. And let me tell you from now, the topic and the theme of this video in terms of predictions and whatnot is going to be rest, because so many of these players and teams with Champions League coming up with 3 games a week, they are going to need some rest. I also am going to need some rest because I'm recording this at 9 a.m. because last night I had to get you guys the World Cup official group stage draw video out as well, so I couldn't do the predictions last night. And then lastly, you guys need to rest, knocking on my door, spamming my DMs non-stop. Hurry up, Unc, where's the predictions? But again, I always take it as somewhat of a compliment that you guys think I'm going to cook, and that is why you want them as soon as you can. But like I said, if you appreciate me making this for you guys at 9 a.m, make sure you sub. Road to 60k. I can't lie, I've slept like 6 hours. You can see by my eyes I'm not even awake, but I'm here for you guys. So let's get cracking straight away because we talk about it being too early. Listen, Aston Villa against Arsenal. We could already get packed in terms of our predictions because genuinely speaking, again, this is a major coin flip. Let me explain to you why. Of course, Arsenal are high flying, unbeaten in I don't know how many, 15, 16 games in all comps since the Szoboszlai free kick. But it just seems like, I don't know how, if it's the fixture computer or just maybe that's how my mind perceives it, every single week Arsenal going away to like the most informed, best team, you know, challenging for second, third or fourth, right? It was Sunderland away, then it was Chelsea away, now Villa away, who have won 6 games in a row, the most informed team in the league. And again, I've just seen that Mosquera is out for 6 to 8 weeks, so that's another reason why it's important to wait till close to the games to make your predictions, because now I'm like, brother, who's going to play where? I don't know if Saliba's ready to play. Obviously, Hincapié will have to play, even though he picked up a slight knock towards the end. Is it going to be Rice in centre-back, Norgard centre-back, Marino centre-back? I have no idea. What I do know is that there's a certain someone called Ollie Watkins, who, as meaty as I find him, always decides around the time to play Arsenal, he's going to be good again. And so therefore, despite Arsenal rarely ever conceding 2 goals, I might go over 2-2 here, mainly because I just don't know who's going to play for Arsenal, right? If this is the lineup that we're expected to see, according to them, then to be fair, that's very strong, right? You got Timber at right back again, Saliba, Hincapié, Calafiori, etc. That is, you could argue, you know, Arsenal's best team, minus obviously the massive impact of Gabriel from set pieces. But like I said, Onana, I think, likes to play against Arsenal. Rodgers might have that statement performance as well. It's a very, very techie one. If I have to go with the scorers, I'll go Saka. You know what? Gyökeres might, if he starts, that's the thing. I don't know. Marino might start again, right? So I don't really know what's going to happen here. If Gyökeres starts, I reckon he might bag a goal here. But like I said, Onana's cold, Rodgers and Watkins will do his thing. So I'm going to go 2-2 in this game here. Like I said, coin flip, I'd really avoid this one because Arsenal could go there, get a professional win. Same time, Emery, we know how much he hates Arsenal. He might just, with his own heart, you know, instill that passion into his players to go and beat Arsenal. So genuinely, anything could happen in this top of the table clash. Now we spoke about incredible form. We now go to the opposite. Bournemouth, who were high flying, suddenly have been 6 games winless, I think it is. Complete and total collapse from them. But at the same time, Chelsea will be exhausted, right? They've had a grueling week or so, like Arsenal have. And without Caicedo, I feel like they're going to get found out a little bit in terms of the fitness levels, right? And they've got Champions League midweek again. So this is another thing I said about the breaks. You have to factor in a lot of these teams do not have the capacity to rotate heavily. We know Chelsea's first 11, really good. Not many weaknesses there. But you start taking out 2 players, suddenly you're thinking, ooh, that team is a bit smelly. So I'm going to go 1-1. I think Amenyah needs to get back on form. He just found out that, of course, Ghana will be playing England at the World Cup. So, you know what I mean, little motivation boost and whatnot. And on Chelsea's end, again, I don't know if Cole Palmer's starting. This is the thing. I don't know who's playing, guys. So it is really hard to make predictions when I have no idea who's playing. But maybe it'll be some random, you know, Neto or Garnacho type goal on the counter against Bournemouth. And we'll go 1-1 there. I'm going to not do every single game, by the way. Like I said, as always, I pick 18 games in England, Spain, Italy, Germany, around the world. So respect to Everton and Forest, but I'm going to go for the teams that are maybe, you know, kind of fighting up there. So City, Sunderland, for example. It's genuinely, it's going to be the same thing I keep on saying over and over again. So I apologize if it's going to get repetitive for you guys. However, Sunderland, of course, have been in fine form. they just keep on staying there when everyone keeps on doubting them. 1-1 draw away Liverpool at Anfield. Obviously, yeah, sure, everyone can go to Anfield and eat these days, but they really, really looked comfortable there. Could have won 2-1 if not for Chiesa's last-ditch block. Not onto the line, but you know what I mean. Before it went to the line, I suppose, from Isidore. Issue being, can Sunderland keep up with playing this same 11 or near their best 11 every single week? Of course, we know AFCON's coming up, so they're going to want to rinse all the African players like a bar of soap, if you will, to make sure they get the most out of them before they go off to Morocco. City, again, first half, they look incredible. Second half, they just seem to invite any team back in the game, bro. They could face SDS Ebola League. Second half, suddenly you're thinking, whoa, how did Kaz Sterling and Mauro suddenly bag 3 or 4 goals against them? What's going on here? So I'm going to go City to win the game. I think they kind of have to with the amount of pressure that Arsenal will be under. I guess that game will have already been played, but you know what I mean. The chance to, if Arsenal drop points, they will have a big home game against Sunderland. The fans will be rocking. I think they'll scrape a 2-1 win. I think Haaland and Foden will be instrumental in this one. Obviously, saying Haaland to score is, you know, nobody's really shocked by that one. But yes, I am going to go 2-1 for City in that game. We'll do Newcastle, Burnley. I think Newcastle, we can count them as high flying. They play Champions League as well. So realistically, there's not a lot to say about these guys though, innit? I'm going to go with like a 2-0. As per usual, I have to keep on reminding you guys for this week. This is when Champions League is at its crunch period, right? You must now start picking up wins. Everyone knows where they're at. You don't really have much more margin for error in terms of, oh, don't worry, we got 4 more games, 5 more games. After this, it's going to be, you know, 2 more games after the next one. So they have to keep on winning their games. And to be fair, they're having a good run in the Champions League. So they will look to continue it. But obviously, Burnley are just meaty. So I'm expecting a 2-0 win. Gordon against Walker, I'll be honest. Walker won't even be that much trouble, even though he's like 45 nowadays. He'll probably be all right. But if Harvey Barnes plays, then it's a different story because he's becoming a pretty ruthless finisher. But I'll go 2-0 to Newcastle. We have 2 more games in England for Saturday. There might be another one for Sunday. Tottenham against Brentford. Again, similar story. Tottenham going to play Champions League. But look, Thomas Frank is playing against his old team. I know at the White Hart Lane or whatever it's called, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, everybody eats there, bro. You know what I mean? They use that stadium to run through, go get 3 points, go do Beyonce concert, go do Gunna concert, go do whatever you want. If Thomas Frank cannot beat his old team, then what's the point of him even being there, bro? At this point, what's the point? So he must deliver a win in this game, and I have gone 2-1. I can't even lie to you, man. Brentford might be better than them. That's the issue. Igor Thiago is better than Richarlison. If I do a combined 11 right now, Spurs and Brentford, I'll be honest, hey, not a lot of Spurs guys get in, you know. Maybe in the centre-backs, and that might be it, you know. Maybe, and Kudus as well. Kudus will get in somewhere. Other than that, ooh, it's dark, bros. So, yeah, they're going to get 2-1 purely because they simply have to. They have no other choice. Now, Leeds, they have been marching on together for a week now. A bit like the Sunderland story I'm about to mention, where the last week or so has been fantastic for them in terms of like surprising results or just even performances, I'd rather say, because they lost against City, right, 3-2 at the death. But to do that at the Etihad is really impressive. Farke has tweaked his system a little bit, and he's been given, you know, 2 games to save his job. Game 1, he went and burst Chelsea's bubble with a resounding win, to be honest with you, pretty comfortable in the end. They all blame Tosin, but the game was already down and out for them by that point. Against Liverpool, I am expecting one last upset for them. I do believe Leeds get relegated, but they'll do one last upset here, 1-1. If they have enough in the tank. Obviously, again, these smaller teams, no offense, are less familiar with playing 2 games a week, 3 games a week, every 3 days, whereas Liverpool, you know, Salah will have rested. Well, to be fair, they actually play their best team mostly. They maybe like the fullbacks may change with Kirkes coming in. I don't really know who they're going to play again, but Leeds with that atmosphere, there's a bit of a feeling right now that even if it's just 1 win, suddenly teams that are fighting relegation just takes 1 win and the crowd get behind you, they're supporting you, trying to cook and whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 1-1 Leeds and Liverpool in that game. We're gonna go to there's nothing on Sunday really. I'll do the Monday game just because I know United are so bad, but people wanted me to speak about United last time they played on Monday as well. Listen, this one is not even a prediction. This one is a demand. Amorim simply has to win. But guess what? I think they're going to get outplayed by Wolves. Now, when I say outplayed, hear out what I'm going to say first and foremost, because it's not my final outcome. I actually think Wolves haven't been that terrible at home. They've given a lot of teams a run for their money for 45 minutes. And then they run out of gas, and that's it. Second half, they're going to lose. So they have 2 points. But I genuinely think we're going to randomly see. I don't know who's going to start or whatever, to be fair. But I reckon Munetsi, depending on where he plays, he's going to be playing as here, supposedly. But again, I've seen him against City cause trouble, down the wing even, wearing a number 5 on the wing. Again, Bellegarde might do a job, but in the end, United are going to win this game 2-1. Not because they're better than Wolves, but because they simply have to. You cannot go to a team with 2 points and you don't pick up the 3 points. It's as simple as that. So that's all the games in England. We're going to go to Spain very quickly. We have 3 games in Spain, I believe, right? Because Barcelona go away to Betis, who are slightly flying themselves. But again, in my opinion, with Rafinha back, I expect that Barca are going to get not a comfortable win. I'm going to go like a 2-1. I know sometimes it will sound like I'm being a 2-1 merchant, but sometimes it just means it will be a close game. Both teams will fight, but Barca should just about get the edge over them with Rafinha playing. Hey, Anthony, what have you got for Barca? I don't know. The other team I want to mention before I go to Madrid on the Sunday is actually Villarreal this time, not Atleti, because Villarreal are the team currently occupying 3rd place. And I expect it's going to be a valiant win. It's going to be a hard-fought one because Getafe, to be fair, Getafe don't really score many or concede that many. But that's another one where I am going to say 2-1 to Villarreal to keep just a tiny bit of pressure before Real Madrid play tomorrow. And in Real Madrid's game, this one is more, where are they? This one is more of a 3-goal win for Real Madrid. I think they'll bag 3 goals. I think what I saw in midweek, was it midweek? Yeah, midweek against Bilbao, I feel like it was impossible to ignore. I think they finally realized they can't just be so individualistic. It cannot just be, oh, it's my team, it's my team, it's my team. You have to work together. I know it sounds very cringe or cliche, but it is a teamwork thing. And if they want to catch Barca, who seem to be like a much more of a family club, I'm even seeing that random cat, the Barcelona cat mascot or whatever. He's all there hugging, handsy flick, saying, don't worry, buddy, it's going to be okay when he's stressing out. Meanwhile, these men, they just all hate each other, bro. They were just there punching each other up in the dressing room. So, 3-goal win. Mbappe, what a surprise. We'll go and bag a brace on the road to potentially 70 goals this calendar year, which would be insane if he can get those remaining 8 or 9 goals, I believe it is. Over to Italy. This is where the carnage is again, because it feels like there's always like a massive game in Italy nowadays because all the teams are fighting for the title. But on the Saturday, it's only Inter against Como to speak about. I think obviously Inter scored the most goals by far in Serie A. Como conceded the least, so it's a unstoppable force versus the unmovable objects or whatever. I'll be honest, I think Cesc could cook here, but Inter at home, the problem is Lautaro Martinez, bro. We keep on saying it, like, against serious teams, he don't really show up. Now, Como is, in theory, a small team, but performance-wise, they're doing very, very well above their means for the last, year or so. So how does Lauti see it? Is it a small team in his eyes? Or is it, no, sorry, Como's too good for me, I'm not going to score today? I'm not sure. The onus will be on Thuram if he's playing. I don't know if Bonnie will play. I don't really know who else will play instead. So we're going to go 2-1 to Internazionale. Just about they're going to get their win. And the Sunday Serie A games, what are we on now? We're on game 12 of 18. Napoli-Juve is the game to focus on here. And I'm going to go... I want to say 1-0 Napoli. Neres has been flying recently. Obviously, McTominay, we know what he's been on these days as well. But Holland is just so bad. So I can't see them scoring bare goals realistically. And the issue with Juve, Yildiz is really good. So Yildiz might bag, to be honest with you. But the rest of this team, pooh-wee. That team is bad, bro. You don't want to be rocking up with Openda and these, man. And then your backup is like Vlahovic. And then you got all these meaty breads behind him. They're going to win by 1 goal, Napoli, in my opinion. Whether it be 1-0, 2-1, whatever. And let's just go... Ooh, Diego Armando McTominay, or do we go Neres? I think Neres has been scoring way too many, so maybe we go back to... No, I'm going to go Neres again. McTominay will have a big hand, though. And to be fair, we must mention Roma because they are also flying extremely high in Serie A. I mean, look at the table right now. They are 1 point off top of the league. So this whole... Basically, the top 7 all play each other, if I'm not mistaken, right? Bar Milan. So that's really interesting. I don't see Milan here, so maybe I didn't mention them in my thing, so apologies. They might be like on a Monday or Tuesday or something. I don't know. I've gone Roma to win this game 2-0. They're going to go with their cavalry to Cagliari and get a professional win against Cagliari over there. We fly to Germany. As per usual, only one game anybody ever cares about in Germany nowadays. Big respect to the Bundesliga, but you know what I mean, we're here for Bayern. Bayern team to concede first nearly every single game now. Maybe it happens again, I don't know. It seems like they just go 1-0 down and they're like, okay, you know what, guys, let's play properly now. They're going back 3 goals. So we're going to go Kane for a goal. We're going to go, who gets the 3 goals? Kane, Luis Diaz. Maybe one of them gets a brace. One of these two gets a brace and they win 3-1. So those two will score the goals. What do we have left? We go to France. Again, big respect to everyone. I know like even Lons are flying, but I don't watch Lens to really analyze them. I just know they're top of the league right now. So that's, you know, big ups to them. As you can see, they're cooking. But PSG should cook Stade Rennais. I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1 again. There might be some slight rotation for Champions League coming up. We never really know. But they have to start getting points on the board because, look, like I said, the title race in France is really, really heating up. It ain't as easy as it always is for them. So good luck to those guys. And the 3 off-league games, if you will. As always, we go to the Eredivisie. And I pick only one team because, you know, last time it's PSV. I'm not going to go PSV this week. I can only go with one team each week. And I don't really trust them to go away Heerenveen like that. So I'm going to go Feyenoord to get a calm 2-0 win against PEC Zwolle. Never pick all 3 big teams, but don't go PSV, Ajax, and Feyenoord. Even though the odds might look tasty, don't do it. Because I promise you, 1 or 2 of them are going to have stinkers. And then lastly, we fly over to... Not lastly, sorry. I forgot to mention... in the Portuguese league, similar story. I am going to go with Porto to win away Tondela. They're going to get... Do I go with a whitewash or 3-1? They're going to bag 3 goals. That's what, you know what, 3-0. 3-0 Porto, whitewash against Tondela to extend their gap at the top of the league over Sporting and Benfica. And then the final game, this one, I might actually try catch this depending on what time it's at. We have Santos, who, as you can see, are in 14th. 2 points rather, above relegation zone, and they are facing a high-flying Cruzeiro. But Neymar bagged a hat-trick midweek, and I'm expecting one last dance, one last carry job in the final game of the season to save Santos from relegation. Similar to, I guess, at a different scale, but in terms of, remember when 40-year-old Zico done a madness to put Kashima Antlers on his back to the J-League title in Japan back in 1993? For those of us who remember, I'm expecting a last dance from Neymar like that to hopefully put on a show and keep Santos in the Brazilian Serie A. So that's my 18 games. Again, this is not financial advice. Do whatever you like. Be careful because there are some early kickoffs. There are going to be some players rested, injuries. So don't take my word for it. But if you do make bread, you know what to do. Hit that sub button. I want to see 100k plaque there by the World Cup. When the World Cup arrives, I want to see 100k plaque. All the best. Enjoy the games. Let me know your scores. Come back to laugh when I am inevitably wrong by like 1 p.m. with the Aston Villa Arsenal game in a bit. Bosh.